spots jewelry.
Yeah,
Hey,
they got everyone
he's
in
a sneak thief.
within a minute. They got everyone.
Go Spain.
Spain has upgraded to what is it?
Verizon installed their FiOS there.
Yeah, yeah.
No, it's just that we upgraded from sending homing pigeons to actually having cable.
You guys got dial-up now, huh?
Now they have gerbils, running in wheels.
I can't find that link there, Jason. Is that in the Brain Jar one?
It may have been in the last game. Let me look. In the one that Matt had started.
It was.
So
Here it
the
is.
person
You got it?
Oh, your dodge is really high too.
Yeah, because I have to dodge, which is high dex, and then I threw a bunch of points into it.
So, are you going? You're like a second story man. Is that your? Is that your background?
I'm going
theory?
for speedy, light on his feet, knife, character.
So, is he a straight underworld character? I guess is my question.
Yeah. But he doesn't belong to any particular gang or anything. He's more of a freelancer kind of thing.
So, would he be hired by Scotland Yard, let's say, because he knows the underground so well, and he plays both sides? So he basically he gets leniency because he plays both sides of the law.
You're a rat, motherfucker.
And it just gets stitches.
I mean, I could see that. I know he doesn't. He thinks of the Richies as silver spoons up their ass. That's kind of his vibe on him. But I feel like as long as he's getting paid, he wouldn't mind it too much.
So here's the thing. I need at least two of you to have some kind of connection to Professor Smith. And then I need to have another two of you to have connections to the other players somehow. So that's what we need to sort out. Who's connected to whom and how. I'm sorry, Trevor.
Did you see my post in it was actually while you were posting the other half of that bit about Smith. I think it was when you posted about the Oriental Club. There's a post that I had in there, like right in between them.
I did see it.
Okay.
However,
Shut up, Trevor.
well, I mean, he's a professor, and the Oriental Club has 4,000 books on the same subjects.
Ah. Okay.
If you look at the description for the Oriental Club. So, however, Professor Smith is also an anthropologist and interested in the occult in particular. So if your library is hyper specific for one subject, it could be that he met you, maybe he was doing a lecture and you loaned him a book and you've kept up some sort of correspondence or kept up some kind of friendship, because clearly you don't move in the same circles.
Well, the other thing that I was thinking was that instead of the library connection, have my father have been like one of his professors or mentors or something, because my father was an anthropologist and basically the exact same thing, studying the occult.
That could be possible because Professor Smith is one of the youngest professors in London at the age of 29 or 30.
Right, and my father spent a lot of time in London.
How old is your character?
36.
So, yeah, it could be that they know each other, even though, and it could be maybe Professor Smith just feels you got a rough break because clearly you're not a citizen, so you can't take advantage of the schooling.
I was thinking about having a connection. Maybe he hired me to acquire something for him in the past, being a collector of the way he is. But I thought maybe that'd be a connection, unless
That's great.
Jason has something he prefers.
Well, I'm connected to him through the Oriental Club. We're both members there. We both enjoy history and anthropology, so we kind of connected on that front. He's kind of lightly been pressuring Edmund to possibly teach at the university, and Edmund always turns him down, but he has, gone and spoken at the university several times, kind of as a subject matter expert in medieval history. They meet weekly at the club for, a game of cards, so they're, kind of close friends. Both of us kind of have, he's also kind of maybe inducted Edmund into the occult. So I do have a fairly good occult score. So maybe that's how he kind of first breached that subject and has kind of gone off on his own now. But I mean, for my backup character, I use him as kind of my collector as well, Shane. So even my character may have hired you as well to, collect some stuff for him, some medieval artifacts or something like that.
I love the idea of light. What are you, light feet or the Fleetfoot?
I'm
The Fleetfoot, yeah.
I love the idea of Fleetfoot being this acquisitions expert, which
Yeah.
actually would work out really well. In that basically you steal things you steal from the super rich for the super rich.
Yeah, so we don't get our hands dirty. It's
It's
just
brilliant.
a simple cash transaction.
It's just business,
Yep.
and that's the way everybody views it as well. It's
Yep.
just business. Everybody knows that if you're at a party, chances are something's getting lifted, but they're all cool with it because
This is how it works.
yeah,
Mhm.
that's okay. So what is your standard of living, if I may ask?
Me?
Are you comfortable?
The criminal is lower to middle class. I think I rolled. I don't even know fucking British weird shit money.
Yeah,
But
I'd be willing to bump it up a notch if we want to really kind of take this to the hilt. It's up to you, but if you want to kind of elevate him, I wouldn't mind just saying, let's raise his credit rating and make him, if he's known to all of these people, for example, he can go to the Oriental Club. They might not let him into the dining room, but he can hang at the bar and meet people. And since he knows everybody in town, they just are totally cool with that. That they'd let it slide. Whereas Vyeshelev, that's maybe you'd be allowed to the bar. Probably not even that. They would just look at how you're dressed and be like, "Can I help you, sir?" There's no way he's getting past, the front doors. Nil.
I kind of like that idea.
Yes. As I was first trying to, see exactly what, in terms of skills, everyone is going for, because when it comes to the character concept, in the end, I settle for something that it'd be easier than what I originally had in mind. I even have a reason why he's in the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay. Hit me. Let's hear it.
Oh,
So I think
I'll
what
keep
we
this
have
one
so
private for
far.
the time being.
I'm sorry. I think what we have so far is Trevor is basically a revolutionary / scholar, correct?
But he
Mhm.
works he's a factory worker.
And has your character actively been like handing out pamphlets and stuff? Or
In
is he at this point he's disgruntled?
well, he's disgruntled, but at the same time, it's more like he's learned his lesson from doing it more out in the open. He's doing it more. He's waiting to hear people that he can trust. Like, he's waiting to hear people talking about the same things that he thinks about. He's waiting to hear people complaining about, oh, the labor. I mean, the wage is so poor for, and so he would be like handing out pamphlets when he thinks he can get
Okay.
away with it.
So the police are not necessarily hip to.
Probably not.
Okay, that's key to know. How does he feel on the subject of suffragette?
Oh, he's all for it.
Okay, that's what I figured. So he might even be friends with certain suffragettes that are like up there in
I
the
mean, as
upper
much
echelon.
as much as he can be friends with people who speak English. If
Huh.
there's an Arabic community, he's even probably more likely to be in that, because his mother was Egyptian, and so he speaks Arabic pretty well. Um,
There's probably an Arabic slum
mhm.
that he would probably feel very attached to. Um, I can't imagine that there's going to be like a, little Arabia.
Yeah, no.
And so, Jason, we know your character is straight up dilettante. Shane,
Yep.
I think
Mhm.
it's up to you, obviously, but I kind of like the ideas that we've been kicking around.
Yeah, I'm getting that vibe.
What is your credit rating currently?
It was not very high because it was a low to medium, so I had it at like a 25-35 range. I was,
Let's
bumping around.
let's raise it to like 55.
55.
Yeah, that'll
Okay.
put you in the middle class. You own a home, somewhere in a halfway decent part of London, and you might even have
Very
like
essential.
a couple of street urchins that they might do like your house watching for you.
Yeah,
So I mean, you're
they're
kind of
my little birds.
yeah, you're past the point of staking out a house. You know, you can hire kids out and you have them kind of do that for you. You're like
No.
the scoundrel with the heart of gold. I love it.
Robin Hood.
Okay, let's go to Mr. Nil.
I said to the whisper.
No.
I would say that it makes sense why they wouldn't, send him away for that reason.
Mm-hmm. What were you thinking in terms of your profession? I love the idea. I love the concept of it. I picture him being, that sounds to me like a definitely upper class type of
Mhm.
problem
yeah.
to have.
Oh yeah. And like the idea was going, yeah, with like a high class guy, he would definitely be more of the, I guess, the black sheep of the family.
Is he still in love with this woman?
Ah,
Because
well,
that could be your key background.
I mean, he definitely has. Yeah, he definitely has some feelings as of yet. Like, as if, of course, he had to like steal himself after all that happened, but it's not as fast to forget as as the time that has passed between him being sent to England and now.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. I like that. So were you thinking going dilettante as well?
I think I'll go rather than dilettante. I probably would go aristocrat.
Oh, okay, cool. So he would be like friends with the royalty then at that point. He would
More
definitely
or
move
less.
in those circles.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So Shane has a good, strong connection to Professor Smith. Crap, don't tell me because I need to know get these guys' names. Edmund has a strong connection to Professor Smith. Vyashalev, this is where it gets a little dicey. You have a
Medium,
but you know him.
familiarity.
Now, I would love to tie you in with one of the other characters. Did you come up with a name yet for your character, Neil?
Definitely thinking about it, but it shouldn't take me too long for the time being. Just you could refer to him as the Spanish novel.
The Spaniard.
Yeah, let's go with that.
I seem to sense a strong Spanish theme among your characters there, Nil.
That's cool.
You
Play,
see,
play to your strengths, man.
I'm just gonna put it like this, if I don't feel too confident about like some of the options, I'll just go for familiarity, because it's a lot harder for me to fuck that one up.
Yeah, that's a perfectly viable way to play.
I have a couple questions about the ammunition and the guns there, Ben.
Okay.
How does that work? Like we carry a certain amount on us?
Okay, so here's the thing. England is still essentially a gunless country. Even in 1893, it was rare for there to be guns, and the police don't carry guns. So if you're going to carry any kind of sidearm, probably a Derringer is the gun of choice as a carry-around weapon, because you're not going to get into firefights in 1893. For self-protection, I think most people would have like a cane sword is a popular weapon of the time. Knives for sure, blackjack, definitely a Derringer, and then bigger weapons. Not that they didn't exist, but it's not something you would carry around. Only
more hunting
because
stuff.
Right, like
Yeah.
if my character had a rifle, which he would store for his purposes, but it would definitely be stashed.
I picture
in
him
his
having a
home.
bookcase that slides on wheels.
Or it's just up on top.
Yeah,
Yeah, I doubt he has quite anything that fancy. But no,
it's
he would have like a
talking.
rifle, and then he probably has a revolver, like a pocket revolver kind of thing, and then a Bowie knife just for work, because I mean he does factory work. So
Hmm.
I'm just reading the Gaslight third edition one. And it talks about the Webley a lot.
Mhm.
That's a 455, and there's like a 38 version of it as well. So I didn't know how you were going to keep it. So are you say like everyone just gets one, or we still get a little bit of wiggle room here?
Yeah, absolutely. This is your character. So if you think your character would walk around with two pistols for whatever reason, that's fine. Um, I just think even in the real world, there are very few people that walking around. This isn't the Wild West,
Mhm.
um,
Mhm.
or even the Civil War era United States, where everyone's walking around packing. Um, in Europe in general, particularly in England, it just was still more of a rarity. Gun crime was not really high. Just for instance, this is only 10 years after Jack the Ripper,
Mhm.
and I mean, there's no fingerprinting at this point. This is all proto everything, and the police force still didn't carry guns. Um, so it's just something to keep in mind. As far as England is concerned, it's still a bit of a rarity until about World War One. You don't really see many guns in the UK. I love that.
Another thing I wanted to mention, Ben, my backup character. I
Hmm.
haven't written much about him, but Morris Mccarty. He is actually an Irish assassin, but hired by the Russian government, basically to kill me and my family. Just because, even though the Russians were like, "Yeah, we're gonna exile you to England," they kind of like had second thoughts about it and was like, "No, we should probably kill him."
Well,
You
I'll
know?
tell you one thing: the English probably hate your second character more than the first one.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Mhm.
Irish.
Okay.
We can see
Okay.
Expect
your whispers there, Jason.
Yeah, I was just fiddling around with it.
expect lots of
Don't you
British
be
to make
fucking around
potato jokes.
and whisper
I have
people.
them to say.
Well, you know the saying: it's no dogs, no blacks, no Irish.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh, what would the damage on a Bowie knife be? Like just a big old knife.
I'm gonna guess 1d4, but
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Is that standard for knives?
I think so because I don't think firearms do that much more.
Well, the firearms. I'm looking at
Uh,
Jason's thing here. It's like 1d10 here.
yeah, I have
Quick question.
a hunting knife is die 6.
We're going with the classes of Through the Ages, right? Or
No, you can
You can
pick
do
something
any
else.
class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. I think I'll still go for the aristocrat.
Yeah, so for Thomas or Edmund, he does have access to some firearms. Most of them are in his country estate in France. He collects kind of odd shotguns and enjoys skeet shooting. So he probably won't have easy access to those, but I do have him carrying a Remington pepperbox Derringer since he's kind of travels Europe and has been to the Far East and back.
That'd be essential traveling kit.
Yeah, it's something he carries on him at all times whenever he's out. It's only a 22 and it's just 4 separate cylinders.
Yeah, I mean, let's face it. As far as Europe is concerned, the East, the Orient,
Hmm.
that whole area is still very new and mysterious.
Mhm.
In the oh, another thing that I meant to mention. All of Gregorios's future family, like somewhere down the line someone's going to carry the name Gregory in some form.
Oh, cool.
So this character's middle name is Grigorovich, and last name is Grekov, which means of the Greek in Russian. So,
Nice.
yeah, it's good. Ding.
Fuck, I forgot.
Although at one point Russians changed to a matriarchal naming
Hmm.
system,
Yep.
and it becomes
Mhm.
from the mother's line. But I don't think that was until after the
It was a little bit
20s.
later. Yeah.
Yeah.
Could someone give me the stat arrays, or this time we're going for rolling the stats?
It's 80, 70, 60, 60, 50, 50, 50, 40. So 180, 170, 260s, 350s, 140.
It's a lot of work. I just rolled mine.
50, 140.
You got some good rolls though.
Dude, I had some great rolls. Way better than my last character.
I
My
think
guy is a fucking truck.
I think that that was a real eye opener of a scenario for everybody. That kind of helped everyone.
Mhm.
See,
Yeah, my appearance is going to be the one at 80.
You handsome boy.
Mm-hmm. Hell yeah.
So clothing I assume doesn't matter too much because there's no like armor right now.
so Nil, I would definitely say you should
Mhm.
charm and fast talk should be your one of those two, because I don't think we have anyone in this party yet that has a good charm or fast talk yet.
I have a
Yeah.
decent fast talk and charm, like 45, 49. But
Well, that's
Because I'm-
that's 61% or 51% chance of failure.
yeah.
You know, since I'm going to be the guy that gets us anywhere we need to be, I guess.
Where did you find the knife damage there, Jason?
I thought it was in the
I didn't see
Gaslight
it.
book. Let me take a look.
I didn't see it in there.
Can Trevor, Shane, and Nil just update your byline under your picture with your character's first
Oh
name?
yeah.
The what?
It's a lot of work.
Hold, please.
Oh.
I'll be right back.
Add the character description.
Shane, I may have to grab that out of the main book. Give me just a second.
That's fine. As long as I can get like the damage bonus.
Yeah, I can give it to you. Hold on.
Thank you.
You have just a regular hunting knife?
Well, I haven't decided what kind of knife I want to carry.
Okay. So hunting knife is 1d6.
And is that is that a Bowie knife or is that just a standard like 6-inch blade?
Yeah, like a Bowie knife.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
a
because
huge
so
fucking-
it's a D6 then.
Yeah, it's a big
Okay.
blade.
Yeah.
Short range, 1 attack, d6 plus db.
Got it. Yeah,
Alright.
because my character would have a Bowie knife, just carrying around for work.
Yeah, my second guy, who's a little more shady, has a Smith & Wesson Schofield, a Remington double Derringer, a hunting knife, and then he has a billy club as well
Hey,
for subduing folks.
he's
Yeah.
packing. That's a damn fucking sure.
My guy's gonna have a 44 Webley and then the knife.
I like those Webleys.
Yeah, they look really cool on the pictures there.
The Schofield's awesome. You should Google that
Dude.
thing.
Oh yeah, Schofield's straight out of Red Dead, man.
Yeah, man, and it's actually, I think it was one of the first models. It's actually a lever action where you pull something on the back and then it breaks open on a pivot and it actually ejects all the shells automatically when you do that.
It's a
which is kinda
cannon,
cool.
man. That thing's a hand cannon.
That's how the bulldog revolver is.
Is
when you open the revolver, there's
Mhm.
a pin that you push and it ejects all the shells.
Yeah.
And then you can use a loader to just.
Yeah, the Bulldog's renowned for being fast loading.
Nice.
And that's what my character has, a bulldog, and then he has a Martini Henri that he stores in his home.
Well, the Bulldog, isn't that a single shot?
No, it's
Where am I reading? Remington.
Yeah,
Bulldog.
ammo capacity is 1.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh,
it
I
is
was
a
looking at the
single
wrong.
Ooh, that's a 50, huh?
That's an
That's a 50 caliber.
Looks like
pistol.
an army gun though.
The bulldog?
The Bulldog, Remington Bulldog?
Maybe you're looking at a different version of it.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at a different version.
Yeah, those Webleys, they use those right through World War II. Those were around a long time.
All right, I'm
'Cause
gonna
the
use
one-
an AK-47, Ben.
I'm sure that
okay.
would be no problem, right?
Yeah,
That's fine.
this is the one that I found. It says that it's a
I'm just
2.5
gonna arm the
inch
cultists
barrel.
with M16s.
It's a 320 round, 5
Just
round cylinder.
Just give him like machine
Oh yeah,
guns.
that's much smaller.
Yeah.
This is rocket launchers.
like miniguns just walking around.
But it's only
What would
it's
be-
only a D6 plus 1 damage. So
What's the difference between persuade and fast talk?
There is in the rules, there's a breakdown. Of the two.
Oh, the Smith & Wesson Schofield was used by the Russians.
Maybe I should have one of
Ooh.
those.
That thing is crazy, man.
Top break automatic ejecting revolver was much easier and faster to reload than the side gate system used by Colt. Smith & Wesson also produced a number of these pistols in this pattern for the Russian government.
And what is that?
In the 44 Russian cartridge.
I'm
And
looking
they
it up
proved
now,
to be
yeah.
extremely accurate. Page 38 of the Gaslight book, or the Gaslight equipment guide.
What's the stats on that?
It's a 44. Hang on, I'll pull it up.
Scroll
Kingdom.
down.
No, you said persuasion versus what?
Fast talk.
Okay,
Oh,
hold
I
on,
actually have it on my
please.
other character. I'll pull it up there.
That's the 1d10 plus 2, right?
I believe so, yeah. Yeah, 1d10 plus 2.
So fast talk is specifically limited to verbal trickery, deception, and misdirection, such as bamboozling a bouncer to let you inside a club, getting someone to sign a form they haven't read, making a policeman look the other way, and so on. Persuasion.
So it's a D10.
I think fast
D10
talk is
plus
definitely
2.
more of Shane's.
What's the
range.
range?
20. 1 attack,
Alright.
6 ammo, 0
Use
mal.
persuade to convince a target about a particular idea, concept, or belief through reasoned argument, debate, or discussion. So persuasion.
Yeah, it's like a debating someone about something to try and change their mind, as opposed to like just rolling over someone with a stream of consciousness talk,
right.
trying to distract them or
Yeah, like
get them to do something they wouldn't normally do.
Or you study polemics in school or something.
Yeah, the difference between actually arguing and just trying to bullshit.
Yes, yeah. So persuade can change people's viewpoint.
Minds, yeah.
Yeah, whereas fast talk, you're just like kind of using misdirection.
So, Ben, what'll this get me? Operate heavy machinery. I take lever, I pull lever. It's easy job.
Yeah.
What can I say?
What would be considered heavy machinery in 1893? Elevator?
Let's see. How lucky am I?
And then I do have some electrical repair. I imagine that I've been working at a factory, and then I've changed jobs to the London Electrical, whatever the company was. I can't remember now. The primary
Well-
electric company in London.
Sanity was equal to your PAL. Right.
So, Ben, how much
Yes,
ammo
sir.
can we carry? Or is that a thing we don't have to worry about?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really worry about it.
Infinite ammo!
I'll assume you have enough to reload your weapon once.
That's
Once every
fair.
fight, or like once, and then we have to go back and get more?
Oh no, I mean, you might have it at home as much as you want, but
Out in the
what you
field.
can, yeah, what you carry on your person, you might have like, if you're really preparing, you'd like shove a few extra in your pocket, maybe.
Yeah, my Derringer, I don't have any extra. It's just loaded and that's it.
It takes so long to reload it.
And the weird thing is too that Derringer that I'm using, it's actually hammerless, and to cock the gun, you actually have to take the trigger and push it forward.
Potentially shooting yourself. In the
Exactly
process.
right. Probably not the safest thing ever.
Quality.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Let's see if I
So long as it works.
Success. Schofield.
Oh,
Dang.
Oh, so just to give you guys a little bit of an update, Jason and I were talking about the way the combat works in 7th edition, and I'm essentially using a paper, rock, scissors method, and I will continue to do that. So in other words, you just roll the skill or under. If you succeed, that's great. If you roll a hard or extreme, you automatically succeed in doing whatever it is, whether I succeed or not, which is the way I've been doing it. It's not exactly rules as written, but it just makes it go faster.
Yep.
And I don't, it's not the kind of game I just don't want to get tied up in all the crunch. It's
Yeah,
hardly
and
any
the nice
crunch.
thing
Let's
is,
keep
too,
it that way.
a lot of that it's not going to be happening anymore now that we've moved on to the firearm era because there's no fighting back.
Mhm.
You either take the hit or you can dive for cover if there's something within a couple meters, and that's it.
What about like suppressing fire and stuff like that, or is that not a thing? Because there's
It is a thing, but you need an automatic firearm for it.
Psh,
And no one but the military is gonna have that. And at this point, I'm not even
There's
sure.
not. No, it's
I
not
think
until
the very
World War One.
first Gatling gun
German.
was in development at this point, but I don't believe it was actually used.
Oh man, I don't. If it was used, it would have been during the Civil War.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure. The Civil War might have seen one at the end,
Mhm.
but that would have. I mean, that's a game changer.
What's the max that you can get a skill at during character creation?
90.
I think that's recommended. Yeah, 90.
90 is the max. At
All right.
creation.
Perfect.
I'm gonna put 90. I'm gonna put 90 into the jump.
Because why wouldn't you?
Hey, you might actually need it at one point. Not to spoil anything, but
So
go.
Ben, if I'm ever having to converse with anyone, because my language ability is only at 50, or because my language English ability is only at 50, are you gonna make me roll to understand? That would be
I
interesting.
think 50 is considered fluent, isn't it?
Is it?
yes,
I believe so. Yeah.
50 or above is considered fluent.
I'm
Uh,
just fluent.
However, that doesn't mean you can read English.
Oh no, he can't read English
Yeah,
at
so
all.
I work with people. I work with two guys. One guy's from El Salvador, and the other one is from San Salvador, and they both speak pretty flawless English. It's accented, but in my opinion, it's flawless. But man, when they write text, they're hilarious because they write totally the way that they talk, and it is very phonetic. They're brilliant.
Salvador Fernandez de Cordoba.
Mhm.
I love it.
I was
Senor-
looking names of
Senor
Spanish noble
Cordoba.
families, and just boom.
Senor Cordoba. So I'm assuming you live in like Notting Hill or something.
Yeah. I mean, as is, like Father figured out that since I'm here, might as well, like try and pretend that I'm, like a diplomat or something like that.
That was what I was gonna say. So what? How old is your character?
He's 25.
Okay.
Ben, Jason, do you guys know the base skill of hide and bargain? I can't find those anywhere.
Hide and bargain. They're not right on your
No.
character sheet.
I can tell you in 2
It's like-
seconds.
It's like a special one, except it's not.
Oh,
in the
is it?
book.
Ah,
Yeah, I'm on the skills chapter already. Hide, I can tell you is.
hide is separate from stealth.
Ah,
That's what
Nope.
it said in the
Oh, that's funny.
Cthulhu by Gaslight.
Hide is not even in the Keeper's
Yeah,
book.
I think it got rolled into stealth
yeah, it did.
because it was in the Gaslight book. You said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which
But
is
that's the third
sixth
edition, so I guess.
Yeah, third edition for
Hang on, I'll tell
Mhm.
you what stealth
Six.
is.
Yeah.
Ecology.
No.
Stealth is 20. I
Yeah,
think.
stealth is 20.
yeah,
What about bargain? You think that would fall under like?
Appraise probably.
Yeah,
Or
maybe.
accounting, even. Charm, even it could
Might be
fall under.
charm. Yeah,
I don't think accounting. Accounting is more related to the actual profession of being an accountant.
So to be like
Did you
appraise
say
or
appraise
charm.
then?
Yeah.
All right, I'll just throw my points into there then.
that starts at 5.
Yeah, it's on the sheet. I can see it.
Do any of
Alright.
you have?
Just trying to be helpful, Shane.
Do any of you have any skill in archaeology?
No.
No. I'm not smart enough.
I mean, I'm smart enough, but my character specifically has zero interest in anything his father did.
How about climb?
Climb?
20.
Nope, 20.
Good.
Now let's see.
Very good.
All right,
How did you?
we're
How did you
climbing
determine?
a museum to kill Cthulhu. That's the mission.
And do you have drive
Okay.
auto, by the way, Jason?
I think I may. No, just at base 20.
Okay, interesting. So you can
We're
drive your car, but like
Fucked.
you can't even parallel park it.
Yeah, I'm just not very good.
Yeah.
It's
So-
brand new. It's the first year it's out. It's the what did I take? The Benz Victoria horseless
He's-
carriage.
He's grinding the gears.
The first
No.
Mercedes Benz ever.
So one quick question: how did you calculate your occupational skills or occupational points?
Your occupational skills.
No,
So it's
sorry.
education times 2 plus dex times 2, or
Well,
well,
it's
it depends on
different.
the
Yeah, it's
class.
different
Yeah.
for each class.
And I fu- yeah, and I fucked it up. I was going to say the personal interests.
Oh, personal interest is your intellect times 2 for everyone.
Correct.
Yeah, yep.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfecto. Uh,
I do need to know what everyone's key element is for their background too.
What?
Key element.
Yeah. I'll read it to you guys.
65.
Where is that?
635.
Okay, so you know how you have ideology, beliefs, significant people, treasured possessions, and meaningful locations?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
One of those becomes your key background connection. I need to know what that is for each one of you because that's the one thing that you cannot stand to lose in the world.
Mhm.
And it can be any one of those items connected to. It could be, I would think for Vyashilev, it would be some kind of ideology.
Well,
And
believe it or
might
not,
be-
his family is here. He has a wife and a son who are in England with him. So it'd probably be his family, which is real easy to lose.
It
Especially
is.
when you have an assassin that's, trying to kill you and your family.
Yeah, that is an awful lot of exposure for a Call of Cthulhu investigator.
Mhm. I was gonna go with my ideology and be like, my character doesn't give a shit about his family. And then I'm like, well, no, he probably really does care about his family.
Well, especially considering how you have an idea of like the lineage.
Mhm.
You're trying to connect all that lineage, so
Yep.
you're kind of like playing those what I would call the cornerstone characters
Mhm.
in the lineage, which is actually pretty fun. That's a pretty fun way of doing it.
Yeah, I'm having a blast.
For Daniel, he has a trinket, that belongs to a girl he's been sweet on since childhood. They almost got married, but her father wouldn't let her marry a criminal because he's a little bit more of a wealthier man. So she, I haven't, I don't know if she's married or whatnot, but he still feels that longing to be with her, but he knows he can't ever because he's, of the lower life. So, but he does keep a locket on him that used to be hers or something along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, this is like classism is alive and well
Hmm.
in 1893 England.
Oh yes, it is. Vyacheslav is not about it.
Yeah, it is a thing. This is like straight up Jane Austen nonsense.
Hmm.
Nonsense. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's all well and good if you belong to the upper class.
Yeah, there you go.
Something to be protected and cherished.
How about you, Edmund?
His mother, Betty, she resides in Bournemouth. She's kind of been a pillar in his life, and since his father's passing, they've become even closer. She's always provided him wisdom and kept him grounded. She's getting a
Whatever.
little bit older and kind of failing in health. What's that?
Whatever are you doing, Edmund?
Yes. I'm sorry, Mama.
Edmund Goal.
Whensoever you arrived.
So she would be his, I guess, cherished person. And I just actually sent you a email, Ben, with an image. If there's any
Okay.
chance I could get you to put that in as a handout, that'd be fantastic.
Sure, hold please. Nil, can you update your photo, your camera feed, so that
Your name.
actor's name in there?
Right. Let's
This
see.
is
Senor Gordoba.
the photo of your car.
Yeah,
Got it.
my whip.
You watch him whip. Watch you nay nay.
Wait,
Mm.
there we go. My name's bigger than yours.
Hey, I could have Shane in
That is a
parentheses if you
mouthful.
want. You want to have a fucking name measuring contest?
I mean, this should give you an inkling of the kind of person I'm bringing to the game.
Okay.
What's your credit rating?
My credit rating right now is sitting at a 52.
Nice.
Don't worry, guys. I can be the sugar daddy.
Okay.
I got that covered. I have a
Nice.
90.
Holy
Jesus.
shit! What's
How
your
did you
character
get to
there?
90?
I'm a dilettante.
English.
So he's pretty much just independently wealthy. His father built a business along the coast in the town of Bournemouth. It was like a resort spa, and as he got ill, Edmund took it over. And once his father passed, he, after 10 years of running the business, the train arrived in town. The railroad came to town, and Bournemouth became kind of a huge resort destination. So he sold everything off at a huge profit, and he's been traveling all over Europe, pursuing his medieval studies ever since. So I was telling Trevor, was it Trevor? Were you the one I was chatting with about this the other day? Like the costs for the period?
Yes.
So £30 a year will rent you a house, £100 will buy you a home. I can spend £50 a day without tracking it, and within 2 or 3 days I can get my hands on £4,500. So that's a small indication of the wealth that my character.
Basically, the first chance that Vyacheslav has to, put a bullet in your skull, it's gonna happen.
And don't forget.
Why is it that Trevor and Jason's characters are always on the opposite end of the
They're the odd
spectrum?
Except
couple.
in the One Ring.
Except in the One Ring.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
yeah,
They are the odd couple.
yeah,
Don't forget, it costs £31 just to get a table at
yeah.
the Oriental Club.
I don't have to track that. I can spend 50 a day.
Yeah,
Not worry about it.
and I think it's is it £18, 8 shillings a month to be a member?
Something like that.
It's
Yeah,
outrageously expensive.
yeah,
That'd
yeah.
be like, well, there's a club in New York. Actually, the founder is a client of mine. It's called the Core Club,
Mhm.
and that club is basically where the mega rich go to sharpen their knives and
Yeah.
network. Membership, I think, is right now it's sitting around 150,000 a year.
Dang,
Damn.
dang.
So you're talking $16,000 a month just to be able to like eat lunch with LeBron James or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all hedge fund, creepy hedge fund guys.
It's crazy. I mean, there's like a whole different stratosphere of wealth out there. It's just you see it every now and then, but it's like insane.
Let's just not even go into it. It depresses me.
Me
When
too.
we were down in
It's disgusting.
when we were in Bermuda, we took a tour of the island. We were driving around and we drove past the Atlantis down there. And I'm sure you've seen pictures of this place. It's like the two buildings with like the bridge in between. It's like a huge resort casino place. That bridge in between is a room and it goes for $25,000 a night. $25,000 a night. LeBron James has stayed there. Michael Jackson stayed there years ago.
I'm sure
It's
Kanye
just-
West hangs
probably,
out there when
yeah.
he's in town.
I mean, that's just... It's
Good
nuts.
times.
Yeah, seriously.
Is everyone's character complete?
More or less. I mean, I'm just having to see like which guns would my guy have.
I
I mean,
never. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
no, it was
Probably a Dillinger of some sort, wouldn't it be? Something small and
I mean, so far, like I decided to get a navaja, which is a Spanish type of knife, which I think it will be best to just straight up go and send you like how those things look. So
I'm
you
gonna
see,
carry
like,
a Zweihander.
strapped to your back.
Well, that's good because the first encounter is against a guy with a Buster sword. So
There you go.
oh boy,
Walking around London with your bowler hat on and a giant
I mean-
two-handed wavy sword on your back.
like like you could call this a utility knife of sorts. I mean, it's useful to shank people, to shave. It's useful to to like cut things. It's our own version of the of the Swiss.
Nice.
Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, this
It's
is
like
like
it
I
looks like
believe
a
the blade
fillet
is like,
knife.
I mean, the blade is like on that one. If I were to guess, I would say it's about 8 inches, maybe a bit more.
Oh, so that's a nice comfy size.
Yeah. Plus, they are foldable, so they are fairly, they're fairly discreet. And we Spaniards do have, at least during that time, we did have a tradition for random shanking. So and yeah.
Look at that horseless carriage. That's so nice.
Need
Vyacheslav, I'll take you for a ride in it.
But yeah, as is, I don't really have almost anything in like handguns, which I probably should change that. I do have in rifle.
Have you seen The Time Machine?
Yes. Have you
H.G.
read
Wells.
The Time Machine?
Yes.
It's
Yeah,
a
probably.
great book and a great movie.
It's a great book.
This is right around that time, too.
What are the stats of
That's New York, though.
Mm-hmm.
what are the stats of Derringer?
I actually reread The Time Machine last year.
Depends on what you get. What are you looking for?
Well, I mean, basically looking for like I guess the biggest pistol I could hide.
Well, let me see. Help me open up this thing.
So I'm kind of curious about how Vyacheslav is going to fall in with this group of people here, because it's a very unlikely group of people for him to be around.
Let's just say that if you discover Salvador's little secret, that you might feel a lot more sympathy for him. And so far, let's leave it at that. Ben knows what I'm talking about.
You pedophile.
No,
Is that it? Did I get it
No.
right?
no. If I were a pedophile, I would have taken the fucking church, not England.
Oh, God, could they have made this font any effing smaller? All right. So if you're looking for a Derringer, the Remington Double Derringer is the way to go.
Wait, is that a rifle or a handgun?
No, that's a Derringer. It's like a tiny little pistol you can like hide. It's 2 shots.
Ever played Battlefield 4 with like the little pistol? It's like hold like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
that's-
get the
Actually, I think it's 2 barrels, like one over the top, kind of like that, and then it's got like a little curved handle.
Or you can
Yeah,
get the 600 NE Magnum, which is 3d6 plus 6. It's a massive cannon.
no, I would say that I would say that something in between, like a revolver, but one that is not,
Or like a
one that's
palm
not-
pistol kind of thing, you know?
Well, even a revolver is going to be too big.
I'm telling you, this Derringer is pretty decent. It's a 32. 2 shots does die 6.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, if I convince them that I have diplomatic immunity,
There's no such thing. This is 1893.
Ruh-roh.
They will put you in stocks.
and yeah, I mean, I suppose like a palm pistol or something like that would be my best bet.
You have to remember, this isn't New York. This is not like the police just don't care and they're utterly corrupt. This is you're still very much in the empire.
That is a fair point.
You
Or
can't
like
get
no-
a
If this was New York, it'd be a completely different ball of
Or
wax.
if I was an officer of the, Her Majesty's army, then it would be like, oh, he's a guy in uniform.
They would just say you're shell shocked. That will be your excuse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but sadly cannot do that. And what year was it? It's not yet 98, right?
It's 1893.
93, so there's still 5 years until the war between the United States and Spain. Okay. The Cuban War.
Yeah, the Spanish-American War you're talking about?
Yeah, that one.
Teddy Roosevelt.
We lost our jewel.
How about this?
Don't fuck with Teddy Roosevelt, man. His
I'll fuck
mustache
with
will
him.
mess you up.
I think I can do a little bit of shaving here, Trevor,
Mm.
on this scenario. What if there was a building that had a Russian landlady that you helped do like handyman stuff for in the slum of England in Whitechapel? That will basically put you at the opening scene, pretty much.
Sounds good.
So we're ready to get started?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Scene.
scene.
It's Sunday, the 10th of September, 1893. It's a rainy, miserable night in London. It is about 10 o'clock in the evening. Vyashalev, you are helping. I need a good name for her.
Bob.
Irina. Karamova. Irina Karamova. She's the old Russian landlady at a slum in Whitechapel that you help out from time to time. You are assisting doing something in the back of the building, cleaning up muck from the gutters or whatever. And you hear a commotion in the front of the house, and you hear thump, 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 thump running downstairs. And you can hear someone speaking in English, and you can definitely hear Irina shouting in barely broken English, like Russian, at someone else.
Okay, so she's at the front of the house and I'm like in the back,
Hmm.
but I'm not outside. I'm still inside.
I'll say yes, you're in the back of the ground floor, and the commotion is at the front of the house. Now, you know the way the tenement is set up, it's basically a house. It's really run down and shabby, and each room is rented out to various renters that she has in order to make ends meet.
And she's shouting?
Yes, and the man is shouting something in English.
If I get closer, not like if I go to the next room over, is it possible I
Mhm.
might be able to better make out what they're saying?
Absolutely. So as you move closer, you see a young man, very well dressed with brilliant mustaches, um, trying to explain something to this woman. He's like, no, 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 you don't understand. And you are pretty sure that you recognize the man. After a couple seconds, you notice that it's Professor Smith from the University of London trying to calm this woman down. And she's just hysterical. He kind of does a double take when he sees a little bit of movement in the back of the house and notices you and beckons you forward.
Yeah. So when I see him and she's like still hysterically like yelling in Russian, and I imagine she has her little her little
Babushka.
babushka, yeah, her little babushka hood on. I approach her and I put my hand on her shoulder and I'm like, Irina, calm down. He's a nice man. No, I know him well.
And he's like, oh, Vyashalev, thank heavens, I'm so glad you're here. And he's like mopping his brow with a handkerchief.
I'm
Uh,
kind of like start wiping my hands, sort of like a grease monkey with a rag, and kind of put my hand out and shake his hand. Dr. Smith, how are you? It's been a very long time.
It has been, and it's a pleasure to see you. And I'm so glad that you're here because you can help translate to my good lady here. Can you please explain to her that there's no need for alarm. We've got everything under control now. And she's
Irina,
like screaming about there was a man, something happened. She's going in rapid fire Russian, and there's a man, and he was murdered, and it was screaming, and yeah, and all this noise, and then the police arrived, and
Yeah, and he's just like he's like putting his hands up like, Irina, calm down, please. I cannot even hear myself think. Please stop screaming. And he's like, we can talk about this, but you have to stop screaming. And he's like starting to raise his voice a little bit.
So she calms down a little bit, and okay. Um, the professor will explain to you what is happening. I don't understand. This is I run a good house here. I don't need this much trouble. And Professor Smith is yes. We'll get all that squared away. Just rest assured that we've got everything under control. But he doesn't look like he's got anything under control. He's whiling.
Yeah, while she's still kind of like freaking out, Vyacheslav grabs Smith by the shoulder, pulls him into the the living area or the common area or wherever, and kind of like gets down like hushed tones, like, "What is going on here? Why are you disturbing this poor old woman? She's but a landlady. She do nothing wrong."
No. Everything should be okay. Just there's something I want to show you upstairs, but I'm not sure how to proceed here. I've sent word to a good friend of mine, and he should be around shortly. But I advise us not to go upstairs until he comes. Are you armed by any chance?
I have my bowie knife, all I carry on me when I'm at work.
Deuce it all. That's not going to be good enough, man. Okay, we'll wait down here. Cut. Edmund, you are just about to sit down to dinner in your house when you hear the doorbell ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling ring. One of your manservants.
Mm-hmm.
Let's call him Nigel.
Nigel.
Goes to the door. You hear him open it. And yes, and you hear a young voice say something. Well, I must say this is rather late in the evening for such shenanigans. And then you hear the voice. Very well. Nigel comes over. He says to the dining room. Master Gore, sorry to disturb you, sir, but there is a young man at the door to see you. He says he has a urgent message for you.
So he's sipping on his little cup of tea, and he says, "At this hour, Nigel? This is most irregular. Give me a moment." And he finishes his cup and puts it down and cleans his hands off, straightens out his suit jacket, and steps into the parlor.
So when you get to the foyer, you can see why Nigel did not invite this person inside. He appears to be a young street. Yes. He appears to be like a street urchin. This kid in rags, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Now, during this time period, when normal messenger services closed, it was common for people to use street kids to run messages.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, begging your pardon, sir, I have a message for you from Professor Smith. And he said I must deliver it to your aunt directly, sir.
Professor Smith, good friend of mine. Yes, young man, I'll take whatever it is you have for me. And he reaches out.
He hands you the message, and he's kind of like hanging around.
So I take a look at the message, and I turn...
It was a mighty powerful run in this rain, sir. It's a long run.
I can imagine, young man. Nigel, take care of this young man. And then I turn and go back into the...
Boston regularly grabs a couple of shillings, hands it to the kid.
All right. So I step into the parlor and tell Nigel to bring me a light.
And this is the message you read.
All right. Bring a gun. All right, Julius Smith.
Bring a gun.
All right.
So now, I mean, Professor Smith is not one to be hysterical.
Sure. Well, this is most odd. Nigel, prepare my pack. I'm going to be going out in this rain. I'm going to step upstairs and pick out a few items to take with me.
Very good, sir. Let's cut to Daniel.
Can I ask a question really quickly?
No, you got it.
Okay. This
I'm monologuing.
This place in Whitechapel, would Vyacheslav live there? I mean, it's a Russian landlady. It's a slum. He's poor.
Maybe not
Whitechapel
this
is a
bad.
slum.
Okay. This is bad.
We're gonna get into this. This area is this street in particular
Okay.
is
Just curious.
yes. In fact, if Edmund, if you give me a knowledge roll, you might be able to. You might have heard of this street.
All right. That's just straight intelligence.
Whitechapel Street isn't. Oh,
Yeah, I'll allow that.
Why on earth would I be going there? Of all
Whitechapel
places.
this time.
Not only at Whitechapel, but you know the street was renamed like 5 years prior, and it was the site of the first murder by Jack the Ripper. The street. So
Interesting.
it is a very rough part of town.
Okay.
Probably not one you'd want to drive your Mercedes into.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'll probably be taking the horse and carriage. I'll have Nigel
Nigel's already out there.
saddling up the horses. So I do have a shotgun at the house here. Maybe appropriate to bring. I don't know.
Up to you.
I'll bring it. I'll load it. I do have a gun case for it. I'll load it up and put it in the carriage.
Okay. Cut to Daniel. Daniel, you are at home. It is Sunday, September the 10th. Same time, about 10 o'clock in the evening. And you have like a floor plan open of someone's giant house that you're planning. And you hear a familiar knock at the door of one of your informants. It's like a coded tap 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 that you know it's one of your street kids, part of your info network that you have.
Without even looking up, I go, enter.
The door opens and a soaking wet kid comes in. Let's say the kid's name is Edmund. And he's hello Daniel. Sorry about the water, sir, but I got an important message that I was told to deliver straight to you.
A message, you say? Well, give it to you then.
So he kind of sogs over and hands you this note that's all soggy and wet, and it's the same note that you saw that Edmund had received. So you know the professor pretty well. You've done a fair amount of work for him. He must trust you enough to think that you would come when called.
Perhaps he's wanting a job. Never known the professor to be a rash man. And I wave off the kid to go clean himself up, and I kind of like wrap up what I'm doing and throw on a coat.
Okay. I mean, you probably live in East London already, so it'd be a little bit easier for you to get over there, I would say.
Yeah.
Than the others, actually. London, 1893. Let's open up a map. Okay, so where's Whitechapel in this map?
I see it. It's right above Fenchurch Street.
Yeah,
Yeah, eastern side.
yeah. It's East London is just notoriously bad.
Mhm.
So Dora Street is somewhere in there. I don't think the address is on the map. Okay, beautiful. Now, Salvador, we never discussed your association with the other characters.
I mean, considering that he's an aristocrat, like at the very least, he would probably, hang out at the Oriental Club. Like as is, he's mostly a wastrel sent away to not bring further shame into the family, or at least bring shame somewhere where they will not hear about it.
Okay,
So,
great. So, can we say that you're at the Oriental Club right now?
Yeah, it wouldn't
So
be
you're
a
at the
problem.
Oriental Club, enjoying. You're just about to sit down to a. I have a feeling that this is like normal dinner time for that time period.
One second, guys.
At least in all the books that we read, it seems like they're always eating late at night.
Mhm. Yeah.
So we'll say you're just sitting down to eat. Now, you've had some deep conversations with Professor Smith, and he is, let's say, he's astute enough to kind of know a bit of your background, but he would never pry, of course. Gentlemen would never do something like that.
Yeah.
but
which is
enough,
not appreciated.
but enough where he knows what happened.
Mhm.
You know he probably made some discreet inquiries,
Yeah.
and he knows what's going on. But you somehow forged a solid bond. Let's say
Mhm.
you both love billiards, and he's come to trust you in that regard. And you basically have the same, like, 10 pounds that you've just been handing back and forth for
Mhm.
months now. You'll
Yeah.
win. It's the 10 pounds, same 10-pound note. He wins, takes that
Mhm.
10-pound note. You've just been handing it back and forth.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, so you're about to sit down to have dinner with some friends, and one of the actually I don't even know what they're called, like concierge, I guess,
Mhm. Yeah.
comes over the table and says, "Begging your pardon, sir, but there's someone in the foyer that has a message for you." He
Huh.
looks pretty put out about the fact.
At this time of night, that is quite interesting conundrum. He stands up, gives like slightly.
All of your friends are like, "Oh, someone's come to collect their money, Salvador."
He's just going to smirk, give a slightly theatrical bow, and say, "Oh, I would suppose that it won't take me long, but please, my friends, begin
With
without
some
me."
scorned girlfriend, I wager. So they start placing bets at the table as to what they think it is.
And good thing that I'll have to go step outside. I imagine, and like he'll put on his hat and like tip it with a devilish grin.
So yeah, I mean they won't let the messenger inside, and it's this
Hmm.
street urchin who's just drenched, wet, and he has this mostly soggy, hastily scrawled note from the professor.
Hmm.
Um, and he says, "Begging your pardon, sir, you Senor Cordoba, sir?
Hmm. Salvador Fernandez de Cordova. That would be me.
I
What
got
can I
this
help you
message for you, sir."
with? Hmm.
He hands you the soggy note. It's the ink is running, but you can basically make out that it says "need help." It has the address,
Hmm.
which you don't recognize, and his plea.
Hmm. And at that point, he'll kind of lose the smile, read that, and say, "Well, I wouldn't send a message like this if it wasn't urgent." Uh, I am afraid I'm not acquainted with the streets of London, and at this point, I will, like look through my pockets and as if it was nothing to me, which technically it isn't. I toss the kid a whole pound. Say,
Oh, he's like, I'll take you there, sir. I'll show you exactly where it is. I'll show you the back way, the quick way there, sir."
"Mhm, I knew we could understand each other. But first, give me one moment, and I will tell the concierge that uh, I had a sudden urgent business, and that I do not know exactly when I'll come back. I get my code and all that stuff.
Very good, sir. We'll just keep your check open in that case. Shall I tell your guests you shan't be returning?
I'll tell them to not expect me."
Very good, sir.
And at that point, like I will put on my coat and all that, just my hat, and go out in the street as I finish rolling myself a cigarette on the like I guess the right on the part where it's still not raining, and then very well, kid, take me there.
Okay, I'm pretty sure that I put up pictures of the Oriental Club so you can see what it looked like back in the time, because it's had two locations in London, but this was its original location on Hanover Square. So you can see it's very much kind of that kind of classic Victorian looking building.
Yeah.
Um, so one of the other men in the foyer is like, "Shall I call a cab for you, sir?"
Ah, that may be preferable in this lovely British weather.
So
Yes,
they
please.
they flag over a handsome cab. Handsome cab comes over and you get in the back, and the
Mhm.
urchin tells him where you're going, and the man's like, "I'll drop you off 2 blocks away." 2 streets over. Not going down that street. That
Yeah.
street's cursed, it is. Whoosh, whoosh, ah! As the rain falls. Um, so I'm going to say you all converge more or less at the same time on the street. Now,
Yeah.
during this 20 minutes, let's say, 30 minutes, Vyashalev, Professor Smith has just basically been pacing, waiting, pacing, waiting. Um, he's basically standing at the front door to the house and just keeps opening and looking out and then waiting a couple minutes, opening, looking out, waiting a couple minutes. They gotta be along soon. They've gotta be along soon. Hopefully, they'll be along soon and everything will be alright. Yes, yes, everything will be alright.
Vyacheslav is actually like sitting in the recliner of Irina's common area, and he has his foot up on the counter, and he's got like a decent shoe on, like a tan shoe. He's got like
Mm-hmm.
brown slacks on, held up with suspenders, and then just a white shirt, and he's kind of like sharpening his Bowie knife because he said the guy asked if he had a gun, so he's like, whoever you are waiting for, they will arrive when they arrive. You are very impatient.
Well, I'm afraid it's a little bit of a race against time, my good man.
What is it that is so pressing upstairs, and why is it that you need so many men and many weapons for such situation?
All in good time. I'm gonna just prepare a handout for you guys. What is the street name again? It's D-U-R. How do you spell the street name again?
Durwich? Was that it?
It's D-U-R. I think it's D-U-R-W-A.
Durward. Durward.
Yeah, Durwood Street. Okay, beautiful. Hold please. I'm gonna give you a layout of the house. Number 5, Durwood Street. I don't know why this attachment didn't load before. Excellent.
In fact, if I knew any better, I'd say you were making me nervous, and I'd say you were nervous yourself.
Okay, so if you look at the first floor, which is at the ground floor on the left side, you both are in the parlor right now.
Okay.
So you can see there's a little door, and then there's another doorway that opens to Dorwood Street.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, so let's say Daniel arrives first. So when you approach the street, you can see it just looks pretty normal. Yeah, you're working your way down the street. Is there? I'll let you describe what you plan on doing.
So as I'm walking down the street, my normal, senses of, what's going on are especially alerted since he told me to bring a gun. So, I'm going to be quickly, glancing around, seeing if I notice what's going on, just taking a quick brief of the situation,
Mm-hmm.
seeing if I can't notice anything.
Sure. Can you give me a spot hidden roll?
Oof. There goes luck.
Yes. Yeah, you don't notice anything out of the ordinary. It's raining pretty hard.
So I walk over and I try to see what the address is, and I notice it. So I walk over and I sort of straighten up my coat and fix my pants and stuff, and then I knock heavily on the door.
So as you go to knock, the door opens, and Professor Smith is standing. He's like, "Oh, thank heavens you're here, Daniel. Thank you so much for coming. Did you bring what I asked you? Are you armed, sir?"
Of course, Professor, but it's quite late. This must be quite urgent, I assume.
It is, I assure you. Please come inside. Get out of this dreadful rain. At that point, you go into the parlor. You see Vyashalev kind of waiting, sharpening his knife on the inside.
And Vyacheslav has this like huge Russian beard, and it's just like black with like little tiny streaks of gray here and there. So it probably looks a little intimidating.
Kind of like, I look over to the professor. I'm like, who invited the bear?
You hear the professor yell, "He's a good man. I think I see a carriage approaching." And then Edmund, you're let off at the end of the street. And so you're let off. You're kind of like instantly thinking, what kind of hellhole is this?
All right, so I grab my pull my collar up against the rein, and I grab my gun case out of the back of the carriage, and I say, Nigel, stay here. I'll be back as soon as I can. And then I
Very
walk
good,
down the
sir.
street.
Okay. Are you? What is your approach like?
I am just walking down the street. I'm not expecting to be ambushed or anything like that. Just probably looking up at the numbers on the houses to
Okay.
find the one that I'm looking for.
It doesn't take long to figure it out because there's lights on and the professor opens the door at one point and sees you and still mopping his brow. It's like, oh, thank heavens it's you, Edmund. Come inside, quickly.
J.A., my good man, it's good to see you. I received your letter earlier. This is most irregular. What am I doing out in the rain at this hour?
I'll explain everything in due time. This is a most irregular night. And believe me, puts his hand on his shoulder. I am grateful for your coming tonight.
So, should I prepare my shotgun then? Will there be need of it?
I pray to heavens that you won't need it, but better to be safe than sorry. And
All
at
right.
that point, the landlady comes in. She's still like, this man is crazy. I tell you, this man is crazy.
Vyacheslav stands up and he starts screaming back at her in Russian to like go back in her fucking bedroom.
So you could hear them like yelling, in Russian at each other. And you're like,
Edmund's
Bye-bye,
looking around. He's like, what is going on
And he's
here?
also like Vyacheslav has his knife in his hand too, so he's like pointing his knife and yelling in Russian at this lady to like go back.
Edmund says, is this the man I am to shoot?
good heavens, no. It's not the man. You still haven't lost your sense of humor. I see. Let's see if you can keep it once you go upstairs.
All right, so he goes about taking his gun out of the case and loading it up.
So while you're doing that, Senor Cordoba
Cordoba.
arrives.
Cordoba.
Jesus Christ.
So
Fernandez.
Professor Smith sees you standing and says, Senor, thank you for coming. Don't think that means you still don't owe me the 10 pounds. If this is why you showed up, you're trying to get out of paying me that debt.
Oh, worry not. I have never shirked my debt, and I do not plan on starting now.
I'm so
What?
glad.
What is the problem, my friend?
Come inside and we'll explain everything to you.
Very well.
Okay, we're all here. He goes over and speaks to Irina kind of quietly. For a moment on the side, you see him reach to his pocket and pull out a wad of bills and hand it to her, and she's kind of like, all right, I'm letting you go. He says, okay, Mrs. Karamova has agreed to let us go upstairs. Follow me. And he heads up the stairs. So if you look at the handout for number 5.
After you, bear.
He he kind of, when everyone keeps calling him Bear, he's like, yes, surely you've never seen Power of Russian Bear.
Now, these stairs, I don't know, have any of you ever been to England?
They're very steep and very small, aren't
Yes. Yeah. So
they?
these
And like
stairs,
angled very.
yes, they are treacherous. These stairs, and they're very rickety as you climb up. You can feel the whole building kind of flexing with the weight of 5 grown men climbing
And
the stairs.
I glance back at Edmund and I'm like, these are nothing like your stairs, Edmund. Yours are quite nice.
Yes, well, we have a little bit more room in my residence. Good for the heart, though, climbing stairs like these, and he snaps the breech close on his shotgun.
Okay, so you reach the top of the stairs, and you can see there are 3 rooms at the top of the stairs. One is called Tenements Bedroom, and the other one, I'm sure you've noticed, says Room of the Withered Man.
Mhm.
So Professor Smith opens the door, and inside you see this tableau of a bed. There are 2 candles in the room, dimly lighting the room. There's no window. Obviously, it's not a street-facing room. So the air is just rank inside. It just smells like sewage water and filth. And you see what appears to be an old man lying in the bed. He is naked except for wearing his small clothes, which are soiled. It appears as if he had maybe been held captive. He has strips of leather tied to his wrists and his ankles. He appears to be unconscious. And you see a cloaked figure standing next to him. And so Professor Smith says, allow me to introduce Dr. Hobbs to you. He's the physician for the police force. And Dr. Hobbs says, hello, pleasure to make your acquaintance. And you can see that it looks like this guy looks to be like 100 years old. He's just old, withered
The doctor,
person.
the dead man.
He's not dead. He appears to be barely conscious. Now you're standing at the door, so it appears to be conscious. The doctor's like, taking his pulse and administering to him. He has, some tincture set up on the side there, on the sideboard. And Professor Smith says, oh, well, come inside. So he walks into the room. He kind of takes his handkerchief out and puts it over his face as he walks into the room.
Yeah, Salvador will do the same as he says. Well, I believe in here a priest would be more useful.
Yeah, Vyacheslav would pull his like grease stained, like grease monkey rag and kind of hold it up against his face too, following suit.
Yeah, and Edmund will kind of tuck his shotgun into one arm and pulls out a spotless white monogrammed handkerchief and holds it over his nose as he walks into the room and glances around.
Daniel's no stranger to foul smells as he grew up on the street, so he's kind of just toughing it out. But he is glancing around the room looking for anything shiny.
Okay, so
Always casing.
Open up. Okay, very good. Excellent. So I do need you each to make a con check.
Constitution?
Yes, against the foul vapors of the room.
Oof.
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 Well,
Ha
Okay, so anyone who failed, you're just immediately sickened by the odor. So you're like, not doing good at all. You're basically retching at the odor.
I scoff. And you high bones would last a day on the street.
So you get a very clear look at the man in the bed, and he appears to have a fez on his head. Otherwise, he's naked. He's propped up on a couple of, disgusting pillows. And Professor Smith says, "Poor fellow, would you believe that this man is 20 years old?"
well, he has not aged well, that's for sure.
Surely you jest, man. There's no way this man can be 20 years old.
It is true. He's a student of a good friend of mine from Turkey. I'll explain all to you later, but we must try and get this man out of here safely. I'm afraid that whoever did this to him will be returning shortly.
Did what to him? Left him in this condition?
Deuced if I know. We must get him to a hospital. Do any of you have medicine training at all?
30% first aid. That's
Yeah,
it.
30% first aid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
think
none
we've
of
all
you
got
are
a
medical
base.
men. So the Dr. Hobbs says, he's obviously sickened with some sort of wasting disease and needs to be hospitalized immediately.
I kind of look at the professor. I'm like, Professor, as you know, I am the best at what I do. This is not what I do. Why am I here? I'm completely smug right now. Like I'm little crease of a smile. I'm just not sure why I'm here at the moment.
The professor says, "Hey, uh, are you armed?" I'm asking you. Is your character armed? He has a pistol or something?
I kind of nod. Yes.
I would say you're very good at what you do in this case. I needed people I could trust and people that would come quickly and be able to help me with this poor man. And just in case these ruffians who did this to him did what they did to him come back, I need to be able to handle. So don't
J.A.,
just
I've
stand
known
there
you.
gaping. Come help me.
I've known you for many years, my friend. You've never asked me for anything like this before. How did you get involved with this man?
I'll explain it all to you in good time. But right now, time is of the essence. We must help this poor, wretched man.
Very well, just do not expect me to get anywhere near the pillows.
So, what would you like to do? Tell me. Give me some,
I volunteer to grab the head side.
Okay. So, as you get close to the man's head, you notice something rather unusual. The fez that he has on his head seems to be emitting a very low hum. And you can hear underneath that a kind of whispering sound in your mind.
Sort of catches me off guard, and I take pause, and I kind of reassure myself because I don't really believe in all the occult or anything like that. I believe in I make my own fate kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So
Fiashula,
I glance.
go ahead.
Sorry,
go ahead.
I
Go
glance
for it.
at the doctor, and I kind of just see if he is if he notices what's going on.
So, Vyashalev, now something that Karamova said makes a little bit more sense to you when she was saying about the shadows in the windows and whispering and the whispering and the shadows in the windows. There's something going on in there. The doctor looks at you and says, yes. As you can see, I don't think the fez can be removed, and you can see it looks like it's fused onto this man's head.
Oh. Good God, man, what is this? What have you gotten yourself into?
I'll explain it all to you in time. Someone help, let's help remove him.
I sort of grab him by one of his arms and, trying to stay away from the nastier bits, I try to pull him off the bed.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'll look at so you say that there's someone that did this to him, and they may return?
I think that they will return, Salvador.
Very well.
I'm sorry to have brought you into this, but the quicker we move, the better off we all are. I'll explain everything to you once we're clear of this place, this wretched place.
Considering how wasted he is by now, we will need everyone to carry him. I will keep watch as I pull out, my pistol, like keep a watch on the corridor.
I kind of glancing around the room and sort of notice why no one's helping me yet, and I go, Bear, come over here, take the other arm.
Vyacheslav looks at him, kind of like strokes his beard with his knife and says, I would not attempt to command me in such a way. Would not be wise for you, friend.
I kind of smirk at that. Like, oh,
and he
yes,
says, but
Bear.
I will come help you anyways.
The professor says, please, just for this poor soul, let's just get him to the hospital.
He pockets his knife in the little holster on like the back side. It's like kind of on the back of his hip, and he grabs at the feet.
Yeah, the doctor says, I'll take the head.
All right, so I turn to Cordoba. I'm sure we probably know each other through the Oriental Club, maybe.
Mhm.
Played a few games of billiards or whatnot.
Yeah.
And I say, all right, my man, why don't we head down the stairs and take a peek out the front windows and see what's going on out there to make sure our way is clear.
That would probably be a good idea. Whatever is going on here, I trust Dr. Smith, but... This situation does not seem normal at all.
Yes, very strange indeed.
So at that moment,
Mhm.
the man on the bed lets out a terrifying scream and appears to expire. The fez that was on his head rolls off onto the ground, and at that moment, the candles are snuffed out.
Oh,
Vyacheslav would have like
I
at the-
drop him.
yeah, Vyacheslav would have like dropped it like his feet and like fell to the floor like on his butt like with his hand supporting him.
Mhm.
And he would have let out quite a loud curse in Russian.
So the the thing that was Matthew Pook, his head elongates and his face changes into this permanent rictus of a smile. This giant tongue comes out of its mouth with these lashing tendons. It grabs the doctor by the head and just bites his face clean off.
oh,
Jesus.
Okay.
I'm shooting the thing.
Well, now you went downstairs to go look at the front door along with Edmund. So
Yeah.
you guys just hear screaming from upstairs. So that's up to it's Daniel and Vyacheslav.
I step back like a pace, and I
Well-
sort of not quite believing what I'm seeing at first.
I mean,
This thing stands up and his tongue is now wrapped around the doctor's throat, the neck, and it's just like crushing his throat.
I
It's
mean,
like,
Vyacheslav, I mean, as soon as this happened and, like, he, like, had a chance to, like, stand up, he was probably closer to the door because he had the feet, and you would take the guy down feet first. So Vyacheslav is gone. Like, he books it.
yeah, I need for you and Daniel to make a sanity check first.
Oh boy.
Oh, God.
Ha!
So if you succeeded, you take 1. And if you failed, you take 2.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Yep.
Yeah. You just hear, Vyacheslav running
Bled.
downstairs. Bled! Bled! Suka! Bled! Like, and he's, like, sprinting. He's skipping steps.
Professor.
The professor's right with you down, like heading down the stairs, but he's like, "We need help up here. We need help. Dash it all, man. Come up here and help me."
All right.
yeah.
Edmund turns around and leaps up the stairs 2 at
Yeah.
a time past
So
Vyacheslav.
you walk in, you see the scene. So I need for you to make a sanity check.
All right.
Ben, can I ask a
And I will have to
question?
do one as well, because I
Um,
run. Ooh, nice.
Would this old lady, I mean, ladies like this probably would have kept something to defend themselves. Would I know where something like that would be, like a small
Prob-
firearm?
Probably not, and she
Hmm.
probably wouldn't have a firearm. It would be like, you know,
Be a stick.
no, like a crowbar or something.
Ah, my Bowie knife would be better than a crowbar.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
draw my hidden firearm and I point it at the thing, and I'm like, "Drop the doctor, foul creature!"
Okay, so Edmund and Salvador, you both lose 1 sanity.
Okay.
At seeing that this thing is just like beyond anything you've ever seen. Ever. It's
Madre de Dios.
yeah, this is like right out of your worst nightmares.
God.
So here's the thing. This thing moves extremely slow. So who's got what dex?
I have
Uh,
6.
You're
60.
probably
70.
I think Daniel far and away is the fastest. So you're up first.
So I know with standard Cthulhu melee, you fight and they attack you back, and that kind of stuff. With ranged, how does it work? Same thing, or do they have a chance to dodge it, or?
If there's cover, they can try and dodge.
But this dude's pretty slow, right?
And don't forget the room is totally dark right now because the candles are snuffed out. So unless one of you has a light source, it's just complete chaos in that room right now.
Shit.
You have the lantern light from the hall only, which is really dim. See, all you can hear right now is the sound of the creature, the screaming, the running, and the doctor being strangled.
Probably Vyacheslav downstairs going, fuck, Blit! He's not sticking around for that shit. Are you crazy? What
So
normal person would?
I'm going to aim the gun, Ben.
Okay.
So it looks like I lose my turn this time, but next turn I get a bonus die, whatever that means.
Okay. You just have to roll under your firearm skill in order to hit.
Oh yeah, just standard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought there may be penalty for the dark or something.
I probably should, but I'm not going to.
Okay.
So if you want, you can open fire. I mean, the room is so small.
Yeah.
And you knew where it was when the lights went out.
I only have 6 shots. Fine, I'll shoot this thing. It's the scariest shit I've ever seen. So I already have my gun out. I am going to try and shoot this thing because it's fucking terrifying.
Nice.
Nice.
I rolled a 2 on a 1d10, man. God damn.
Okay. So you shoot it. It doesn't even seem to notice the bullet. Now, who else is in the room right now?
Edmund and Salvador.
Yeah. So you guys go into the room and you just hear a bang. This incredibly loud bang. Your ears are ringing. And just like, what in blazes is going on in here? The other tenants are now like booking it when they heard the gunshot. This is complete chaos in the house now.
So when I come around the corner, I see him standing there with his pistol out, and he fires off a shot. Can I see this thing?
Yes.
With the flash?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I probably react the same way. This thing is like the most terrifying thing I've ever seen, and it's trying to kill this man. So I bring my shotgun up and give it both barrels.
Oof.
So I don't know. Do I roll twice? Is that how that works? If you've got 2 attacks?
Is it 2 attacks with that rifle?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
God damn. Look at the damage. Holy shit.
You take a
His
big
name is
chunk
not
out
bad
of it.
though.
What's that?
I'm sorry, go ahead, Neil.
No. It was just
You
Saying
just
that
take
it
a
doesn't have
giant
that
chunk out of its shoulder. It's like,
How is that thing not dead? Good lord.
but it's really tough to kill.
Yeah, man. Jesus.
Just a quick note, Ben. Vyacheslav would be like getting people out of the building, like in an orderly fashion as much as possible.
Okay.
Do most of the tenants in there speak Russian?
I'll be right back.
We're gonna say they're Russian, Ukrainian,
Yeah,
Eastern
then
European.
he'd be just screaming at them in Russian, like "Get out!"
In my case, like Salvador has very much the same reaction. Just shoot the bloody thing. It's just that in his case, he's like shaking mostly because like he hasn't seen the fact that the doctor is missing a face, so he's like trying to aim to not hit the man, even though that man is probably dead by now.
Right.
So
And
like,
you
"Damn it."
you have the giant revolver, right?
Yeah. Well, I have
so
this.
it's like, it's just like you hit the walls like the
A
blasters.
massive cannon.
It's holes in the walls, just like sound echoes through the room.
Mhm.
So the creature releases its grip on the doctor, just like jumps at whoever's the closest person. I think
It'd probably be me, right?
Yeah,
Gonna be
Daniel, because
you.
Daniel was deeper in the room.
Yep.
And then I can choose to dodge or fight back, correct? Or
You
is that
can.
not how?
Well, you have the firearm, so you'd have to drop it and like do fisticuffs. But yes, you can. Or you can choose to run away.
I'll try to dodge it.
Okay. So give me a dodge roll. He missed anyway.
Oh.
So the thing's like
Ha! Woo!
goes to swipe at you, misses. So we're back at the top. So Daniel, it's your turn. This thing is pretty bad off, though.
I'm gonna put another round into it. Because I go flying back, trying to dodge out of the way, and I just shoot it right from the hip.
Nice.
Nice. Okay, so you hit it like somewhere in the center mass, and just kind of goes back a little bit. It's like still in the fight though.
Yeah, I'm shooting it again. God damn.
Salvador's really shaken up over this.
Even though I passed my sanity check. I guess it's just the way that, since there's still Daniel moving around, like, Salvador doesn't want to do friendly fire.
So Edmund takes a step back out into the hallway into the light and cracks his shotgun open. Both of the shells come flying out, and he reaches into his pocket to reload his gun.
Yeah, that takes an action to do that.
Yep.
I'm assuming. Okay,
Yep,
so
yep.
Daniel, you're still the closest, so the thing moves forward.
I'm gonna try and dodge again.
Wow,
Damn.
man.
Dude, I'm having a good night.
Woo!
You are just like, even in the dark, you can see Daniel's like, this is your element. This is this guy's element.
Matrix, man.
And you're at the top, so it's your turn.
Alright, I am going to... So we're pretty close at this point. I am going to drop my... Do I want to do that? I don't know. Because if I melee him, then he'll be able to fight back, correct?
That is correct.
How close are you, we'd say?
How close to...
We're pretty close, right?
If this thing looks like it's on its last legs, yeah.
I love the
Alright,
music.
yeah,
Ben.
I'll shoot it again.
Nice.
Ooh, nice.
There we go.
Yeah, so you finished the thing off, man.
Nice.
So he swipes at me one more time, and I kind of roll out of the way. And I'm like right beside him at this point. So now I just kind of extend my arm and go bang! Right up against the side of his head.
Goes flying to the back against the wall, and that's the end of that guy.
I kind of slump up against the wall at this point.
The professor calls down, Vyacheslav, bring up a light.
I imagine I've gotten everyone out of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Still standing outside in the rain.
Vyacheslav grabs one of the oil lanterns that's sitting on the table and runs up the stairs and has his knife out in front of him ready and holds it into the room. But he is not stepping into the room. He is outside of the door frame and he's holding it in.
So, Professor Smith puts his handkerchief over his hand and walks in. He's like, "Oh, poor Matthew. How will I explain this to Demar?" He says, "Did anyone see where the Fez went?"
No?
I walk over towards the professor and I grab him on the shoulder and I kind of throw him up against the wall. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
There'll be time to explain that later. We must get the Fez out of here. It's extremely dangerous.
Vyacheslav kind of puts the knife up close to him and says, "No, friend, I think you explain now."
There's no time for that.
Edmund walks over to the corpse of the thing with his shotgun still trained on it, and he kind of gives it a kick. And he says, whatever it is, it's dead. I suggest we vacate the premises here soon before the bobbies show up.
That thing was a man once, the professor says. And then he sees the Fez sitting in the corner. He goes, there it is. This must be handled very, very carefully. Hand me a sheet, Daniel, from the bed.
holster my pistol and just rip one off the bed and kind of just trying not to get any shit on me. Hand it over at the professor.
Yeah, so he kind of throws it over and makes like a makeshift sack out of it. And he says,
A Fez did this?
I don't know. I guess we're gonna find out.
I know it all seems rather extraordinary. And this has been a hellish night with what's been going on. I'm going to keep this in safekeeping. I'll be happy to explain everything to you in the morning. Why don't you meet me at the club in the morning?
Vyacheslav's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Look, my friend, if that thing, and I say pointing at the Fez, really turned that man into that thing, you really think you should hold on to that and not just set it on fire or something?
That is I love the fire.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna happen. You
Neil,
fucking
come on.
pyro.
Look, it
That
is
might not-
Besides, he comes from a Catholic country.
That might not be a bad idea. Let's go back to my estate, and we'll throw it in the fireplace and set this thing aflame. What
Neil,
say
if
you,
I look
gentlemen?
up like arson crimes in Spain, is your like picture gonna pop up or something?
I mean, every summer, like, we have plenty of fires here, so
Spain's most wanted.
Playing D&D.
Perfect. I hope for my people, I'm like,
I
well,
kind of look over towards God, I'm not even gonna try and pronounce your name. Sorry, Trevor.
My character would tell you to just call him V. Literally call me V.
I look over towards you, and I go, "Cowardly Russian bear can carry the carcass." And I sort of like pop open my
The professor
revolver
says,
and
"No,
reload a couple rounds.
We'll leave this for the police. Let's get out of here while we can."
Vyacheslav looks at Daniel and says, "Yeah, maybe cowardly, but only one without gun. Smartest one to run."
We can debate your cowardice later on.
I kind of smirk, and I turn and walk out.
Because you know you can't disagree with me.
Well, you did run away from a fight. You left me high and dry there, my guy.
I don't have a gun. I had a knife. I'm not going after that with a knife. Are you crazy?
You know what they say about bringing a knife to a gunfight?
Mhm.
Or a knife to a fucking psychotic Cthulhu creature fight.
Fight.
I mean, it worked out well for us in Invictus.
But Vyacheslav kind of like looks at when the professor says, "Let's go back to my place." Vyacheslav looks at him and says, "After tonight, I go nowhere with you. I go nowhere with any of you. I know none of you, and you are crazy. You crazy man. I don't know why you involve me in this."
Yeah, Shalav, just have a good night's rest. You're welcome to stay at my house tonight. And I'll explain everything in the morning.
No, I am going to go home. I am going to get my gun and protect my family. Is what I am going to do, because and he's just like, he's mumbling almost, like just totally speechless.
I mean, it's not like I cannot blame the gentleman over here. What in God's name was that thing?
I'll
But, Salvador is just going to like tough it up as he pulls out, like his what's the name of that thing where you put cigarettes in back in in those times?
Ashtray?
No.
No,
A
the
cigarette
long,
case.
Like,
It's
Yeah.
literally just a cigarette case.
No, I
Yeah,
think he's talking about. Are you talking
yeah,
about
no,
the
he's
case
talking about
or
the long, like.
Oh,
No,
the
no,
extender.
no.
Oh, yeah, the filter.
I'm talking about, like instead of having a smoke pack, like
Yeah,
where
it's
you
just a
store-
cigarette case.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just
just a
cigarette case.
cigarette case.
Yeah.
I pull out my cigarette case, I smoke one, and then I offer anyone who wants one.
The professor just, it is shaking hand, lights. I don't smoke.
Vyacheslav has
friends,
already
come.
pulled out a small bottle of vodka.
It might help.
Of course the Russian does.
Come, my friends, we don't have time to enjoy cigarettes at this moment. The bobbies will be on their way with the sound of those gunshots. We must get
Yeah.
moving. Daniel, excellent shooting as always, my friend.
For those of you that going to the professor's house, he says to meet him at the Oriental Club tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. The crack, the crack of dawn for rich people.
Yeah.
So Vyacheslav would know that the club, at least he knows it's where the hyper rich go to be hyper rich, which means he obviously does not want to be around any of those people. Cool, great, awesome.
He says, Vyashilev, yes, I understand. I doubt I could get you in the door anyway. Why don't you come round my house then, 11 a.m. Bring the family if you like. It'll make you feel safer.
Absolutely not. They will stay home. I am not going. They are not leaving the home after this.
I wish I could say that there were no more of these creatures about, but I honestly don't know. I would like all of you to make a spot hidden check.
Jesus Christ.
Did we pick up that, you know what I'm talking about, the
Yes.
fez yet?
The professor has the fez in this soiled sheet sack thing. So his intention, I guess, is, have Nigel just throw it in the back of the cab, have Nigel take him home. He and Salvador will try and burn it in the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
And anyone and everyone is welcome to join him and spend the night in his home.
Yeah, I'm going to join him. I mean, he's a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this was a traumatic experience, and I know nothing at this point, so I would like more answers.
Yeah,
And at this point, I don't think.
No, go for it. Go for it, Neil.
I was just going to say that I don't think that at this point the comforts of the Oriental Club are going to be nearly enough to watch what just happened.
Is there a skill that's kind of like a sense motive, or I know there is one that's...
I mean, there was insight in Invictus, but that wasn't Invictus.
Actually, you could probably make a psychoanalysis check, maybe, or...
I mean, had I known how to train
any
that skill.
skills anywhere around there? If not,
Psychology, maybe?
psychology would work.
At least we've got a 10% in that.
But if not, I would just say, based off of your experience, you know that the doctor is clearly shaken, and he knew, the reason he ran was because he knew this man that had transformed, and he just feels terrible and sickened by the whole thing. And he's also clearly worried about something. Now, as you're standing outside and deliberating and having this conversation, Edmund, you spy a dark shadow at the end of the street. It appears to be a silhouette of a man with it wearing a fez.
I alert the others to him. I say, gentlemen, we need to hurry along. We seem to be being watched. Look at the end of the street.
So as you all look, you see the man who kind of like goes into the shadows and disappears.
I call for Nigel in the carriage.
Very good, sir. Where to, sir? That
Take
awful
us to the
ruckus wasn't
professor's
from
house.
you, was it, sir?
Don't worry about things above your pay grade, man.
Very good, sir.
No,
A handkerchief for the blood, sir. That's all over your face. I hope it's not yours.
No, man, I'm good. Thank you.
Very good, sir.
Daniel refuses the offer to stay at the professor's house. He doesn't take the time to meet his clients
He thanks
that
you.
deeply.
He thanks you profusely. He hands you 200 pounds, and he says, "And do come around tomorrow."
Vyacheslav also refuses. Totally refuses. He's not going anywhere with this man.
It's just the three of us then.
I accept the bag and say, "Indeed, Professor. Tomorrow morning it is that." And I kind of just like slink away.
I heard that the Ottomans had stakes in Europe, but I did not think that they would resort to such things. Because, like back in those times, there was still the Ottoman Empire, and, it was still...
Believe me,
pretty
that's going to come into play very much so during the course of this little sojourn.
But the best thing is like Salvador says it like like in character that he wasn't expecting that the Ottomans would you know have this kind of weaponry, if it can be called that way.
Mm.
Well, the person we're up against is particularly cunning Oriental. Okay, I think that might be a good place to stop. And then we can pick up at the house. Well, it's up to you guys. We can finish the evening at the house, or we can stop here. It's
I
up to
mean,
you
right now
guys.
I'm completely entranced, so like for as long as you guys want to go, I can.
Yeah,
keep
I'm
going.
having a good time. I'll keep going.
I should
Okay.
probably eat something soon, but I can keep going. But I mean, if it's just the house, I mean,
Yeah, 20 minutes or so, I'd say.
Hooray!
Okay, very good. Okay, so you go back to the professor's home, and the professor pours you both brandies, and he has his butler stoke up the fireplace. His butler actually has a name, but I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. And he stokes up the fireplace, and he opens up the sheet with the fez on it, and he says, "Which one of you wants to do the honors? I will touch the thing."
Well, I suppose that since I gave the idea, and what he's gonna do will be first pull out his navaja, his pocket knife, extend the blade and then toss it, like grab it with the blade. He doesn't want to touch that bloody thing.
Mhm.
Just toss it into the fire that way.
So I will say you get a couple of details. You don't touch it, which is fine, but you do pick up some details about the fez itself.
Oh.
Which you'll probably,
Oh, excuse me.
You're excused.
I'm sure you'll absolutely want to know these details.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, please.
And so Edmund kind of settles in to his chair by the fire and lays a blanket across his lap and drowns the brandy and engages the professor and says, "So, Professor, quite an evening. What can you tell us about this fez and this creature that we saw?"
We'll get to that in just a sec. Okay, so, the fez itself is the color of old dried blood, foul-smelling and dank-looking, as if it were soaked in a sump oil and then dried out. Its surface is shot through with strange symbols, which seems to lie under the surface of the fabric itself and twitch and writhe in the candlelight. If you have anthropology, you can make an anthropology roll to try and figure out what the symbols mean.
Well, I mean, no, there was
Okay.
no chance, but
How about occult? Would that work?
It specifically says anthropology, so this is
Okay.
it's a language.
Okay.
You just can't identify it. Now, you also notice the fez emits a low hum. When you bend over, when you get close to it, you can hear a strange sibilant whispering, speaking utterly alien syllables, which are very clearly coming from under the hat. I need for you to make a sanity roll.
Oh boy. Okay.
We're doing pretty good today.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you lose just one sanity as you pitch the thing into the fire. And then when it sits in there, you could see after a couple of minutes, it doesn't smolder, and it certainly won't burn.
Hmm. Well, Cordoba, it was a good idea.
Well, I'll just say I am not the one touching it again. Have you heard the humming? Have you seen the... at that point I'm going to turn towards Mr. Smith and say, what exactly is that thing?
It is a thing of evil. It's best not to talk about such things late in the evening. I shall put in my safe for tonight, and wish you all a good night's sleep. In the morning, I'll explain everything once the others are here.
I will need more than one brandy to sleep tonight, my friends. Would you join
Agreed.
me for another drink or two?
Yeah, agreed. So you end up, he kind of changes the subject. You guys end up staying up late into the evening. So basically, you basically talk yourselves to sleep, more or less. When obviously he has spare rooms that you can stay in and bedclothes that you can wear. However, your sleep is not very restful.
Mm.
I will tell you what the night is like for you.
Oh boy.
Okay, so staying overnight. First of all, his home is in St. John's Wood, just so you know. He is more than grateful, obviously, to have you guys along with him. So staying at the Fez overnight is an unnerving experience. Mysterious fez-wearing figures prowl around the house during the evening, and you hear constant whispering. You're also interrupted by terrible dreams throughout the evening, but you can't remember them. But your sleep is fractured, barely asleep at all. So by the time the morning, when you finally do kind of pass out and fall asleep, it's early morning, and when you wake up, it's already like full daylight, and you can hear the professor has been, up for a little bit doing stuff. And I think that is probably a good place to end that scene. And then we can do the whole wrap up next week.
Nice.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So how do we like this one?
Great start.
Yeah.
Great start.
Yeah.
I mean, I was eating for a little bit there while you were talking about, this guy having his shit and his face coming up. That was interesting.
Yeah, this one has just that opening scene. I thought that was really good. Good.
Yeah, it is. It certainly is.
And it's up to
And
you,
this one's even
Trevor.
creepier.
What's that?
This one's even creepier than Invictus.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It's really out there. And what I would do is, now that we kind of have dipped our toe into it, I can post stuff about the Fezes and why it's even brought up in the context of London at the time, in the context of that time period, like what it actually means, because there's some really fascinating stuff. And then this is a good adventure. You guys are going to be doing some serious investigating in this one.
Nice.
Yeah, this is not just chasing the bad guys or tracking down the next thing. It's pretty cool. All that being said, yeah, it's going to be cool. All that being said, Vyashlev is going to be a tough character. I mean, it's up to you, Trevor, to determine how interested he's going to be in continuing.
I mean, that was a rough experience for him, but at the same time, he is an intellectual at heart. I mean, he was a professor in Russia. His interest will get the best of him. It will really, but being frightened in one night, sure, he's going to go home, but he's going to start to wonder, what was that,
What are the odds he might try and look into his father's library to seek answers?
He'd probably try. No guarantee he's going to find much, but he'd try. I don't think he'd do it tonight.
No, he's probably sitting up all night with the foot on the
Bottle
door.
of vodka.
He's sitting up with a bottle or two of vodka with his with his Martini Henry rifle, just trained at the door with one hand, just drinking with the other.
So when you finally get home, your wife is like,
Where have you been? Where?
no, we'll say she calls you Vila.
Vila.
Is your nickname. Vila, what is happening?
He just puts a
Why
he
are
just
you
puts a
home so
hand up.
late?
He puts a hand up and says, "Sleep. Go to sleep now. Take the boy with you. Go to bed. Do not want to hear words from either of you. I am tired." And and she'd probably react very strangely when he grabs his rifle off the shelf and starts to load it. And then grabs some vodka. I mean, she'd probably be really concerned at that point, but at the same time, it's that time where, you know, when
He's
he
not
says go,
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. And also, she knows he's a revolutionary too, right? So,
she knows, yeah.
so I mean, it's not the first time he has pulled the shotgun off the shelf.
No, and he's starting another book on Marx, as he's sitting there, you know, he's drinking with his gun on the door and, you know, reading to keep himself awake.
Nice.
So another Karl Marx book.
Excellent. And what does Daniel do when he gets home?
After he gets home, he kind of, you know, tries to go over what happened in his head. You know, he kind of just shoos everybody that might be in his house away, gets all the little birdies, sends them all home. He gets his revolver and he polishes it, you know, tries to bring him peace. And he fiddles with his locket and he kind of just, you know, sits up thinking about what happened.
Now, you know for a fact that even though it would be easier to go back to the house during the daytime if you wanted to look around, that you could easily also go there tonight. Because ain't nobody going in that house tonight.
Where'd all the tenants go?
Well, considering the gunshots and the blood splatters, I mean, they'll go back if they have to, but the room will certainly be unoccupied for a while.
The cowardly Russian bear did not do very much.
Intelligent Russian bear. No gun.
As soon as you talked about your big beard, I was like, oh, I'm gonna call him a Russian bear the entire game. That'll be interesting.
Did you see his picture, his character's picture?
It looks like one too. It's perfect.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Let me flash it up here so that people can see what this character looks like. He's interesting for sure.
I mean, he reminds me of Rasputin.
A little bit.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Brah, brah.
So, what would you like to do, Daniel? Are you going to just try and spend the evening at home? Or are you going to go back to the house?
Daniel is very confident in himself and his ability to stay hidden. But that was a little bit. That wasn't the standard job Daniel's done before. That was a little bit creepier, and he is.
It's not every day that you see a fez wearing withered
Zombie thing,
turn
yeah.
into a thing with a 5-foot long tongue, bite someone's face off, and then attack you.
Daniel did look around a little bit, but he didn't really look around too well. You know,
Yeah.
he didn't really see anything or find anything.
I would venture to say if you decided you did want to go back tonight, you'd have to make a willpower roll to have the fortitude to get the guts to go back. Going during daylight is a totally different scenario. But
You'd
you
also
do know
have to
that
deal with the landlady screaming.
Oh, if she's still there, yeah. I would definitely sneak by her. Yeah, I think Daniel's gonna go back. He is a sneak thief. He works best at the dark, you know. He likes to stake things out, and he's gonna want to get a little bit more information about it.
Yeah, at this point his curiosity is just piqued, and
I imagine him like going in, like polishing his gun for a little bit, and then like having that moment of clarity, grabbing like some rounds or whatever, and, like
Going back.
going
out.
back.
Well, you know the rest of that expression, right?
Wait, what's
Curiosity killed the cat.
Oh,
And
but
then something like-
satisfaction brought it back or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you make your willpower roll?
Oh no. What do I put? Green or black? Green, right?
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, I just think the green one.
Nice.
Okay, yeah, you got to go back. Okay, so we will say that you have, when you get back to the house, it's locked up, and there's a constable on guard. So,
Can I sneak past him?
you cannot sneak past him, but you can fast talk your way past him. Actually, yes. If you go to the back and you have a successful stealth and locksmith rolls, you can gain entry to the back door.
I'm gonna try that first, and if that fails, then I will.
Okay. So first is stealth.
Come on, Fleetfoot. Nice.
Nice.
I'm crazy rolls right now. I gotta keep this going.
Nice.
Oh man, yep. So you're able to sneak in through the back.
So I, lockpick the door, and I manage to pry it open as quietly as I can, and I sneak in. And we're on the first floor right now, correct?
Yeah.
Let me open up that floor plan. Not London. Number 5.
So where?
So where would that be in from? Like near the coal bin over there, or?
Hang on one sec. I will bring up the thingamabob. Number 5. So you're coming in from ground floor. See where it says backyard?
Yeah.
So you'd be coming
Oh,
in.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's the kitchen actually is where you'd be coming in.
Sure. So, I'm kind of, familiar with the way, houses are laid out. I've studied enough house blueprints to know my way around most houses.
Oh yeah.
So I am going to, take a wild guess that we're relatively close to somebody's home or somebody's bedroom. So I'm going to sneak quiet and I'm going to try and stealth up the stairs.
Yeah, with
Especially not to get that constable in here.
Yeah, and with that stealth roll, I mean, you know exactly which stairs creak. You memorized it the first time up, and you're just like avoiding those stairs. And there's a thing in here. Let me see. What do you
Expert
see?
in sterology.
Stereology.
Sterology. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Okay, here we go. Okay. You see there's a small desk in there with a rubbish bin that has crumpled up paper inside. There's also a notepad that's sitting on the table. And you see, well, that's what you see. So there's a small desk with a rubbish bin with papers in it and a notebook.
And we're
Notepad, rather.
we're in the room of the withered man at the moment.
You are. You're in the room. You had no problem getting in there.
Okay. And what bodies are still here? Did they take the dead doctor and the withered man both, or are they still there?
Nope, they're all gone, and you can tell that the house has basically been emptied and then locked up tight.
All right, then I am going to walk over towards the desk and start frisking it.
So unfortunately, the Ashalev probably means that everyone was arrested until they get this matter cleared up.
I imagine I probably had some connections in that building. Some revolutionaries as well.
Yeah, they're comrades.
Comrades, yes.
So are you going to go through the rubbish bin?
I was checking the desk first.
Ah, okay, great. So you can see that the notepad, there's a pencil there, and you can see the notepad itself doesn't have anything currently written on the top page, but you can see impressions in it.
So I look at that and I assume that someone's written on there.
Mm-hmm.
And I look around to where there might be, something that they might have written on, and I notice the trash bin, and I see that there's a paper inside, and I pull it out and I uncrinkle it and read it.
So, you do notice also that if you took a pencil and like rubbed it over the paper, you might be able to see the impressions that were left underneath.
So do I notice that the paper in the trash bin's not the same paper that was written on the note?
It is the same paper, and you notice that it looks to be some kind of translation. And it's a bunch of hieroglyphics or weird symbols, and then there's like a direct translation under it, and not all of it has been translated, only a couple of bits, but the only pieces that were written in English, it says rising from the past and dominion over all. There are also ferry ticket stubs, and they're written in a foreign language, and all you can make out is that it's for a ferry. So, what foreign languages do you know?
I'm straight, out of the London streets. I don't know any foreign languages.
Yeah, so you can tell that it's
Not British.
the only thing you can tell is that it looks like the dates seem to be within the last month. So between August and September 1893. But you can't read anything else on the ticket stubs.
Can I match up the note impressions with the impressions on the notepad to declare that they're the same impressions? Or if I were to use the pencil, would it reveal something else?
It does reveal something else. It reveals an address in Shoreditch, but it doesn't have any other context. It just has the address.
All right. Can I take another quick glance around the room?
Yeah.
Maybe check for hidden compartments and stuff like that.
Yep. You can make a spot hidden check.
Dang,
So-
yo, you're on fire.
There's nothing hidden. This room looks like who knows what was going on in here. But yeah, that's all that you know, I would say. You were actually supposed to make a spot hidden roll to find the screwed up paper, but I'm like, it's a waste bin with paper in it. Who's not gonna look at that?
Yeah.
There's nothing hidden about that.
Can I check the other tenants' rooms, or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So if you want to make a spot hidden check.
Yeah, I'm gonna check the other rooms too.
Yeah, so the other rooms just appear to be normal people that live in squalor.
I won't take any of their stuff. Not worth my time.
It's totally not worth your time.
Nope. Trevor. Am I familiar with the part of town that the address I got from?
Yeah, it's a middle class neighborhood.
Middle class neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
So I think with this little bit of information, I haven't learned too much, and so far as it's nothing too urgent that comes to mind. So I am just going to return back to my stead, and we'll meet back up with them tomorrow. If it was perhaps a little bit more urgent, I might have gone to see them, but I hadn't discovered anything frightfully urgent.
Yeah. Excellent. Okay, that's great. I think that's a good breaking point because that's pretty much all that I've prepared.
Mhm.
And you guys got further than I thought.
Nice.
Yeah.
Flex.